Alright, let's create some charts. I'm going to move fairly quickly through this because there's a lot, but remember you can always rewind or hit pause and watch it again. And I'm looking at the assignment here, the 5-hole hockey shop assignment. Here's the first chart called a column chart. And notice the column chart has some data. It has January, February, March, and April figures here for total sales and total service. Okay, and you'll notice that for total sales income, it has 4 blue bars. So there are 4 data points, and total service has its 4 data points for each month. That's what it has been charted from this table here. I've charted the total sales income for January through to April, and I've also charted the total service income from January through to April, and those are the dollar figures that you're seeing in this table here. So I'm going to go back to my Excel spreadsheet, and I'm going to take a look at and see how to do that. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. I want to see my numbers from a bit of a distance here. Not to worry about these number signs. It just means that my columns aren't wide enough. So I'm going to use the select all button here and double click there in between any of the headers, and that will fix that little glitch. Okay. It is one of the issues with Excel is that if you're charting and you're not familiar with series and plotting a series of numbers, is that my data is spread across multiple cells, rows, and columns. I got January, February, March, April's up here. I got total sales income is here. And I got total service income is here. It's going to be hard for Excel to understand to chart this and this and this. So what I tend to do is I tend to copy and paste the information to another area of my sheet. And what is key here is that if you do this, do not delete the information after you've created your charts. If you do, you will delete the information on the charts themselves. Excel uses the numbers to create the chart. So if you copy and paste stuff, don't delete it later. Just leave it where it is and put it on a separate sheet like I will here, and don't erase it after. You'll wreck your sheet. So I'm going to highlight January to April, and I'm going to copy that material, and I'm just going to paste it kind of down the page a little ways out of the way. I'll select the cell here, for example, and paste it. Now I'd also like to, I'm going to plot the sales income, these 4 figures here. I'm going to highlight them and right click and copy. You notice if I paste, it's not going to like it. Paste. Look at my dollar figures, they didn't show up. Why? Because those are formulas. And what I just did is I pasted formulas in, and it's trying to add up numbers. It's not working out. So let me undo and try that again. Instead of pasting, if I right click, you'll see paste special. And if you like using the buttons here up on the ribbon, if you click on the word paste underneath the clipboard, you'll also see paste special. And it even actually gives you a shortcut for what I'm looking for. I want to paste the values here. Okay. I like to use my right click method, so I'm going to right click and I'll go to paste special, and it gives me this dialog box here. See, it wants to paste everything. The formulas, the values, the formatting. I would like the values and the formatting, not the formulas. I just want the numbers and with their dollar signs and so on in front of them. And so I'm going to choose that one there and click OK. That way I get my dollar signs. So I can see them there. Now it looks like there's an empty space here. Rather than trying to delete the empty space, I'm just going to move these 4 numbers to the left one. I'm going to highlight them and go anywhere along the black border, except that don't use the bottom right corner. That's the copy or fill handle. I'm going to go anywhere along the black border and just drag it to the left a little bit, so I see a gray line appear underneath January, and I let go. Now the January column's not wide enough, so let me double click up here. There we go. Now January, February, March, April number all lines up with the total sales income. I'm going to have to do this with my total service income. So I'm going to highlight these figures here, and there's an empty space here too. I'm going to right click and copy on them, and I'm going to move down here under total sales income and right click and paste special, because I want the values and number formats not formulas. Again, because I copied an empty space, it came with it. Here it is right here. I'm going to have to highlight those 4 numbers and drag them over. So I'm tidying up the data here and kind of separating it from the rest of my figures. This will help Excel understand what to chart. Okay. There's an empty space here, but that's okay. I'm going to leave that there because I want January over top of these figures and February over top of these figures. Okay. When you're charting, start by highlighting the data that you wish to have charted. So I just started in this empty cell here and I dragged over top of everything down to 6,232. That captures the words total sales income and total service income and all of my months as well. I want to insert a chart. So I'm going to go up to Insert. I'm going to have a variety of charts that I can choose from. I'll start with the column chart. The type that I chose in this assignment is called a 3D column chart. When you click this, be prepared. It's going to throw the chart right on your page immediately. Bang. It shows up as an object, actually over top of all your numbers. We don't want that. It looks pretty good though. Notice that it has the, it's chart. I don't know why there's a little white area going through here, but hopefully that will disappear when I move this. No, I just got another one that's doing some strange things to me here, but whatever. The months are at the bottom, the dollar figures along the left. It's even plotted a legend for me. What I'm going to do first is just choose this. Make sure the chart is selected, or the whole chart is still selected, and immediately go to the top. I now have new buttons have been applied because I have a chart. I have chart tools. I have design and layout and formatting. These buttons were in here a moment ago because I didn't have a chart a moment ago. It's going to take you straight to your design tab and allow you to move that chart. I want to move it to its own sheet here. I've got all my data is on sheet 1. I'm going to move it to maybe to a different sheet here. So I'm going to move the chart. I click there and I've got a dialog box. So I want to put this chart on a new sheet and I'm going to call it column chart and click OK. There. Now I've got the sheet is, or sorry, the chart is on its own sheet. I can see actually I have column chart has been placed here down in the bottom left corner. Where'd all my numbers go? They haven't been erased. They're still here. They're on sheet 1. Now notice these numbers here are integral. I said before, do not delete them when you're done. I'll show you what happens if you do delete them. Here's my column chart. Let's look at February's figure here. It's just over 90,000 for total sales. So I'll go back to my sheet 1. Here's my February figure, just over 90,000. I'm going to press delete, and now I'm going to go look at my column chart, and it's gone. Why? Because you deleted the numbers. Do not delete numbers from this area. They will be removed from your chart as well. I'm going to put it back in. I'll go back to column chart, and it's come back. Phew. It's okay to move these numbers. If you want to move them up or down, that's okay. Excel won't mind a move, but don't delete because it will mess things up. Once you have the chart on its own sheet, you now need to change a few of the titles. For example, there's no title here and there's no axis labels. I can see I've got my January, February, March, April here, but I can see on my assignment sheet it has income in dollars is here on the left, and it even says 5-hole hockey shop tertiary report up here at the top. So I'm going to go back to my chart here. Here it is here. I want to go to the layout tab. The layout tab allows me to add all kinds of information to the chart, including a chart title. So I clicked on chart title. I want to put it above the chart and I want it to resize the chart so it fits. So there's chart title. And I believe, I'm going to have to go back and check what the title is of this one. 5-hole hockey shop incorporated tertiary report. So I'm just going to start to type that. 5-hole. It's not appearing on me here. Okay. I'm going to have to trust that it's going to work here. So 5-hole hockey shop incorporated. Enter. Tertiary report. And I'm going to click somewhere on the chart here, or maybe I'll press enter. Oh, it's not liking that. This can be a little finicky, so I'm just going to double click in here, and I'm going to type 5-hole. That's better. Now I can see it. So double clicking helps me see what is actually happening. I type the first line, press enter, and then tertiary report. If I want to make any changes to this, I still have access to my home tab. I can go to the home tab and make this larger, for example. I can go size 28. Tertiary report, maybe I'll change that and take the bold off and make it italics, and that looks a little bit better than what it did before. And I just clicked somewhere once to finish that process, and that looks not bad. My numbers over here seem very small. I can click on any one of them once. It says they're size 10. I'm going to make them size 12. That's a little easier to read. Same as the legend. I'll click over here once. I don't even need to highlight anything. I'm going to go size 14 on those ones. And January, February, March is tiny. I'm going to click those ones and make them size 12 as well. All right, it's just going to push things around a bit, but that's all right. I'm going to go back to layout and add a axes title. I want something along the vertical axes. I want it to say income in dollars over here on the left. So that's my primary vertical axes title. I want it to be presented horizontally along the vertical axis. So I'm going to click on this option and I see axis title up here. I'm going to try double clicking that. There we go. Double clicking works well. I'm going to type income in dollars. And then I'll click somewhere else to complete it, and it pushes my chart out of the way, giving it room. It's very small. I'll go back to my home tab and make it larger, maybe size 14, so it's easy to read. Don't forget to click save when you're done. There's your first chart completed. Other changes requested in this are things like naming your sheet. So if I want to rename, here's my data sheet. I'm going to name the sheet data. I'm going to double click here and call this data. That way I don't get confused of where my data is. If I want to color my sheets so they're easy to see, I've got some blue and purple here. Maybe I'll right click on here and I'll choose a tab color like the blue or the purple kind of color. Now it looks like it's kind of worked. But like a little bit of purple there. But you'll notice if I click on another sheet, it actually is very colorful. It's just when you select it, it sort of glows white with the text becoming bold. So I'll try that again with the data. I'm going to right click on my tab here. I'm going to make it like a golden color. So when I click somewhere else, I see that column chart and data are very bold. Okay. To create another chart, it's the same process. I just want to make sure my data is highlighted first. Go to Insert, choose a line chart for the next one, for example, and I'll click on the 3D line with markers. It plunks it right on my page. Move that chart first. I'm going to create a new sheet and call it line chart, and then OK. It puts it on its own page. Add a title if you like by clicking the chart title. I'm going to put it above the chart. 5. Oops, and I did it again. I'm going to double click up here. There we go. A couple times worked. 5-hole hockey shop incorporated. I'll delete that stuff out of there. Tertiary report. And again, I can highlight text, make some changes to the side, and make that one a bit bigger, size 20 maybe, and I'll take the bold off and make that italics and click somewhere else, and that's finished. These numbers are really small. I think I went size 12 on the other ones, so I'll do the same on this one, just clicking them each in turn and clicking the 14. Size 12, sorry. This legend, I'm going to make that size 14. And I'm going to add a primary axis title, the primary vertical axis title. I want it to be displayed horizontally. And we're going to call this income in dollars one more time. So double click. I had to do that. I double click a couple times there again. Income in dollars. Capital D on that one I wanted. I'll click somewhere to finish. Click on it once to increase the size. And I'll go 14 again on that one. And don't forget, save. Okay. If something's messed up with your chart, if I go back to data, for example, and I create a new chart, maybe I'll insert a bar chart. Here's that clustered cone one, or and you end up having data that you end up messing up, or I'm just deleting stuff off the table. it can be, well, now I've lost everything. So it can be easier to just delete the whole table. I'll click on the border and delete it and start over again rather than fixing a table. So if something goes wrong, just click on the table itself. If I accidentally delete that, it's going to be harder to get it back than it is to recreate the table. So I'll click on the border and press delete and just go back to insert a bar chart and clustered cone, and I'm off and starting with my legend back again. Don't forget to move your chart. Create a new line. We'll call it clustered chart. There we go, and we're off to the races. I got column chart, line chart, cluster chart, which needs some work, and my data is all there. And I'll save one more time. Thanks for watching.